at beavercountyradio.com.
This multimedia program is part of a balanced breakfast. You're listening to AM Beaver County on 95.7 FM, 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and 1460 WMVA. Also streaming live at beavercountyradio.com. All presented by St. Barnabas.
And would you believe, I was checking my Facebook memories this morning, Bill, and I noticed that it was 1 year ago today that we were sitting here talking about the same exact thing. Well, not quite the same exact thing, and we'll get to why that is in a second. But it is 8:36 on AM Beaver County. I'm joined by Bill Ream from the Ambridge Regional Chamber of Commerce. And Bill, good morning to you.
Good morning to you.
So 1 year ago, things were a little different in Ambridge, and the plan was to go with what happened in 2020, once again in 2021. This year, it's going back to what it was, I believe, in 2019 and beforehand.
That's correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're talking about Christmas on Merchant, and in the last 2 years, it was I guess it was called the reverse parade, or there was another word for it, I think.
Yeah, we called it the reverse parade because essentially, if you remember, if you were there for either of these parades, essentially the parade stood still. The floats and those people that were in costume and you actually drove through the parade instead of sitting on the sidelines and watching it go by you.
Yeah, so you were able to watch the parade, and it was kind of one of those things like you're on a moving train. It's like, am I moving or are the people outside moving? But that was essentially the switch that was made. But this year the parade itself is back and the festivities are back. So let's start with the parade. Obviously, it feels great to get back to the traditional celebration. But what's the parade going to look like this year?
Dare I say it's going to be as grand as it's been in many, many years. We're bringing back some of the things that people liked before the C word happened in 2020. And
that's
and
a great way to
also,
put it.
I think some more also. We've got a lot of our merchants in town are really excited that we're able to do this. We have a lot of new members for the Chamber of Commerce that are excited about being part of the community and really celebrating the fact that we're getting back to some sense of normalcy and really feeling the holiday spirit this year. So lots of floats, lots of vehicles in the parade. It's going to be bigger than I believe it's been in my memory, at least. Live animals again in the parade, not just they call some of us animals, but no actual live animals in the parade. So yeah, plus the festivities in the park.
Yes, and then we'll get to those in a second. But you did make a very good point that's one of the biggest things about the parade getting back to normal this year is that with the reverse parade, you kind of thought that maybe, hopefully, possibly somebody who'd be driving through Merchant Street would look out the side and say, ooh, those are pretty floats. Hey, that looks like an interesting business. And then once they did the loop, made the drive back around to get there. But there was that little bit of an extra effort involved. Now this year, now the parade is back to the traditional format. Once, the parade is, getting started and people are trying to find their best spots, they can walk down the street. And so it's like, hey, it's a short walk from where we're sitting. Once the parade's done, why don't we go there? And that is a huge difference.
For sure. And that's one of the things we wanted to get back to was being able to celebrate the merchants that have those that have been there for years and years, and those that are also new to being on Merchant Street, and those that aren't on Merchant Street. We have plenty of businesses that aren't on Merchant that are going to be celebrated this year too. But like you're saying, being able to come down, bring a chair, whatever, and actually walk up and down the street instead of having to be in your vehicle and just drive down. And it's hard to see what's really there in the dark, even if the buildings are lit up a little bit, if you're trying to pay attention to, the lighted up, inflatables that we had and the people that are dressed in costume that are trying to entertain you. It's tough to see the businesses that are there that are working hard every day and providing, their wares and services.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and that's a very good point because especially when you're driving, I mean, obviously in Ambridge you're not going 50 miles an hour down Merchant Street. At least I hope not. But it is hard to
There's one motorcycle every day. There's one motorcycle every day, about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. But we'll find you.
Yes, and if you're listening, you may have been found out. But we're talking with Bill Ream from the Ambridge Regional Chamber of Commerce. But you make a good point that again, when you're walking down the sidewalk, you get to see that like in person. You get to see that interaction in person, and not to mention the parade itself is going to be beautiful. And it's going to be at night again, which has been sort of a tradition. I know there's been a couple years before the thing that it was sort of on an afternoon. It was sort of done during the daylight, but it seems like nighttime has sort of become a more traditional time for Christmas on Merchant.
There were some reasons for that. We had many years where we were unable to do a lot at night because of the infrastructure through Merchant Street in that area, especially the lower part of downtown Ambridge. And since the streetscape has been completed, that's allowed us to do a lot more. The electricity is better, the sidewalks are better, the roads are better. And I know that you've had Mario from the borough on to talk about the future of what's going to happen in Ambridge too. So it's even going to be getting better and better. But yeah, I think the nighttime celebration is, you get to see the lights, you get to really experience things in a different way, and it's nice to wrap up your work week and then get the kids together and come out and just relax and unwind at the end of the day and celebrate.
That's exactly what it is, and what aids in that is the fact that it's not just going to be the parade that's coming back to its normal state after a couple years, but also the festivities that surround it, the things that are going to be going on in the park, which, again, last 2 years that couldn't happen because of, personal safety and the thing. And because of that, what events are going to be happening in the park this year?
Yeah, and let me mention too, real quickly if you don't mind, before I
Absolutely,
go into
ahead.
that.
Yes.
One of the changes for this year, and I don't know how many people mark it on their calendar as the first Friday of December, but that's what it has always been in Ambridge. And this year we decided there's another light up festival nearby to Ambridge that is also that same night, and it's year after year after year. It's the same night, and rather than have any sort of you don't have to pick or choose. Go there if you want to tomorrow night, and then next weekend you're going to hang out and be in your own community and come to Ambridge, even from outside the community, and celebrate with what we have going on. So a strategic move on our part to bump us back a week, get us a little closer to Christmas, and allow you to have the ability to come and celebrate with us. And on top of that, so because of we wanted to really kind of maybe overdo it a little bit this year because of the fact that we're going back to the traditional parade and really get families involved and have more of a celebration. So I mentioned that we have live animals in the parade this year. So those will be part of a living nativity and petting zoo, which will be at the park again this year. We had that in 2019, I believe was the first time, and we brought that back again this year with Country Flair Farms. We will have hot chocolate and cookies courtesy of Fritzy's Bistro in the park. So come and get warmed up with that. We'll have a couple of food trucks this year. So you can even have dinner at the park. That's courtesy of Ambridge Italian Villa and Annie Lee's Southern Kitchen. They're going to be there from 5 to 8 o'clock. And we have 2 ice carving shows. So, and somebody who's been doing really great things all around Pittsburgh and all over the country, I believe the world, Ice Creations from Pittsburgh, is going to come and do a show at 5 o'clock. He'll wrap that right before the parade starts at 6, and then another show immediately following the parade at 7, which will wrap around 8 o'clock when the festivities end. And not only that, we'll have other things for the kids to do, some crafting. If your kids have not yet written a letter to Santa Claus, we'll give them the opportunity to write their letter to Santa, and we'll have them taken directly to the post office as soon as the festivities are over. So we'll make sure they get there. And I believe I heard that there's some local broadcast media outlet that's going to be there.
Yeah.
Which may actually put this out there for the entire world to see.
That is true. That is true. I'm trying to think of, that's right. That's us.
It's
and
you.
We
That's
are going to be broadcasting and live streaming the parade down on Merchant Street. And it's going to be a grand time. Of course, we'll be out there with the prize wheel as we have been for even the last few years. And that's the other thing I got to give you guys credit for, because again, it feels like Christmas on Merchant has been the only parade that has continued despite the thing, because you guys did the different one back in I'm just calling it the thing because we know what the thing is.
The thing that shall not be named.
The thing that shall not be named. You guys did it in 2020. with the reverse parade. And you get it again last year with it. So really, you guys have not missed a beat. You just sort of have changed the strategy, and you guys are changing it back. So I give you guys a full credit for that, because I mean it's not easy to do, and certainly with all of, like you said, the reserves from the last couple of years of businesses coming in and taking over and doing new things, that you guys have all these options now to go into the park and into the parade and say, okay, now here's what we're going to do, and here's how we're going to do it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. We felt all along that it's important to at least maintain some sense of normalcy and something that your family can do together to, even in 2020 when we were still really in the thick of it.
Yeah.
Just it's important for people to have something that they can celebrate and get out of the house, and even if it's in the comfort of their own vehicle, which in a way was cool.
Mm-hmm.
We encouraged them to have Beaver County Radio on as you guys were playing Christmas music.
Yep.
and listen to that while they're driving down the road and stuff. So it was neat. It served its purpose. I think it was a cool event, and I'm glad to say and proud to say that we did that for a couple of years. Mostly for the safety of people. We did it in that way.
Mm-hmm.
But really, really happy and excited, and I think the community is as well. The feedback that we've gotten has been really overwhelmingly positive, that we're back to that traditional style parade again this year. So.
I think so, and I'm glad to hear that the community is being part of that and getting excited for that, because there are probably those who are thinking, last year was cool, but I was more used to what happened back before everything happened. So now that it's going back to this, I think a lot of people are going to be happy. We're going to take a quick break. We come back, we're going to continue talking about Christmas on Merchant taking place next Friday with the parade at 6. Festivities begin at 5, or whenever you show up, I guess, because Ambridge will welcome you in with open arms. We'll talk about it next year on Beaver County Radio.
Keeping up with your busy life, getting you there on time.
Want to save money? Discover the benefits of public transportation with BCTA. Public transportation's overall effects saves the United States 4.2 billion gallons of gas annually. A household can save nearly $10,000 by taking public transportation and living with one less car, and reduce their chance of being in an accident by more than 90% by taking public transit. And if all of this wasn't enough, a total of 87% of trips on public transit have a direct impact on the local economy and offers personal mobility and freedom. So this holiday season or anytime, get on board with public transportation and BCTA. Visit bcta.com for more information. Happy holidays from everyone at BCTA.
We know the way. We're BCTA.
When you attend the Community Christmas Carol Sing and Light Up Night, it will just be like being in an old-fashioned Christmas TV movie. Just imagine snowflakes fluttering in the air as you and your neighbors sing carols together, enjoy hot cocoa and Christmas punch while the little ones enjoy a visit with Santa, Mrs. Claus, and Rudolph in Christmas Candyland. This isn't fantasy. This is reality. It's all coordinated by the Rochester Area School District and the Beaver Valley Choral Society, sponsored by Rome Monument, Brighton Hot Dog Shop, and Beaver County Radio. Doors open at 2 on December 4th. Join in the carol sing with the Beaver Valley Choral Society and the Rochester High School Chorus and Band. Fill the Fry Transportation bus. Drop off a non-perishable food item for the Families Matter Food Pantry. The joyous day culminates with the Rochester School Building Christmas Light Up at 6 p.m. Don't miss the Community Christmas Carol Sing and Light Up Night happening Sunday, December 4th inside Rochester High School.
This is Chuck Wilson speaking to you. This broadcast is sent your way as a public service of the Jones and Lockwood Field.
In our first 75 years, Beaver County Radio has had over 400 employees, 10 owners, 9 of the coolest station vehicles ever, and 1 radio station cat. Who knows what the next 75 years will bring? It's the Diamond Anniversary year of 99.3 FM, 95.7 FM, WBVP, and WMVA.
850 on AM Beaver County, and one of the 400 is talking to another one of the 400 as I'm speaking with Bill Ream about the...
When do I get my diamond?
We're talking about the...
I'll talk to Mark on the way out.
We're talking about Christmas on Merchant taking place next week. Beaver County Radio will be there. Festivities start at 5, and the parade itself will start at 6. And Bill, we've been talking about all of the support that the community has given and of course, all the planning that the Chamber of Commerce has come up with as far as rescheduling and everything else in between. But one thing, of course, that permeates any major event is, of course, the sponsors. And, of course, there are plenty that have put their time in and their monetary contributions in this year as well, right?
Yeah, I want to mention just a few. We have a couple of bronze sponsors for the event, Trinity School for Ministry and the John Dunn Insurance Agency. And I want to thank our silver sponsor, Ambridge Do It Best, for helping out with the event as well. So, and we'll have more to add to that list as the next week goes on. So,
yeah, that is great. That is great to hear because, again, that kind of support is essential to these operations that they are doing. And again, if people want to find out more about the parade, how can they find out more?
Well, the easiest thing to do is go to Facebook. If you've heard of Facebook, it's a great social media platform. It's out there for all to see. Check out the Ambridge Regional Chamber of Commerce Facebook page. We've got posts on there about it. There's an event link also. But probably the easiest way to reach me directly is to email me, director@ambridgeregionalchamber.org. I wish I could abbreviate it. I can't. It's director@ambridgeregionalchamber.org.
And we'll put that link up at beavercountyradio.com later this morning when you contact Bill directly. But Bill, one thing I did want to ask you based on what we were just talking about as far as contact information. I know the parade is, starting to sort of, form into its last thing. Is it booked or is there room for more if people want to come?
It would have to be. It's booked. It's booked.
It's booked. Okay.
Yeah. One of the other things that we're doing for our parade participants is we're giving them banners that they can carry in the parade, and those have to be produced with the help of Brown Dog Signs and Ambridge. And so they need lead time for that. And I think we're good. We've got over 30 parade participants lined up. So it's going to be good and lengthy. And that's not including, fire trucks and emergency vehicles and some odds and ends and some people marching
that's a good point.
that are going to be throughout the parade, and Santa Claus, of course.
Yes.
There. So, I mean, it is included when I say over 30. Over 30 could be anything.
Right. I mean, there are plenty of
But
numbers
yeah,
over 30.
So yeah, it's going to be. I think we're at a good capacity for this year to have it a good length and a good entertaining parade.
Okay, I just figured I'd ask because I know, not to put a competition out there, but I know when a couple weeks ago I was talking to Beer Falls Christmas Parade, he's like, we'll just take you up to the moment of the parade itself, but I figured that's not the case here. So
yeah. I mean, reach out to me, but probably not.
Yeah, it is. But if you want to come down anyway,
we can find something for you to do for sure.
Yes.
Some way for you to participate. It just may not be in the parade.
Right, and that's a fair point. That's a fair point because the festivities themselves will be going on throughout the evening, and
correct.
Yeah.
And there's other festivities in town too. So if you don't have plans already, or even if you do already have plans for the evening, maybe consider changing them because the parade and the events in the park are not the only things happening in Ambridge. There are some of our other merchants, our other chamber members that are doing some things to celebrate the evening as well. So make sure you're looking around on Facebook, especially on ours, because we try to promote all of those events that are happening. And so it's a great night to spend a few hours in Ambridge for sure. And this is sort of a tease here. If you can find your way to make sure that you're in the park a little after 7 o'clock, there may be a small surprise there. I'm not sure.
Oh, wow. That is a tease. That is, I mean, you started with the hard sell. You have plans, change them. And then you go to the tease at the end there. That is pure.
There may be a special moment in the park.
Very nice. So again, Christmas on Merchant taking place next week from 5 until 8. Festivities start officially at 5. And I say officially because, again, if you're down there early, there will be no complaints. And the parade itself will start at 6. Beaver County Radio will be live streaming the parade from 6 until 8.
The parade runs from 4th and Merchant to 14th and Merchant. So you've got a long ways to spread out and be able to see the entirety of the parade. And if you can't make it in person for some reason, if you're listening to us abroad or somewhere across the country and you're from Beaver County, you can watch it
on our Facebook stream.
And YouTube, right?
And YouTube, yes. So we'll be out there for that, and it's going to be a grand production. Of course, Frank Sparks will be out there, and Curtis Walsh will be out there as well. And it's going to be a great, great time.
Right now, it looks like it'll be a little chilly, but I don't see any precipitation in the forecast.
Well, that's good. That's good.
But
at
that could
least.
change.
Yeah, but
This is
the
Beaver
chilly
County.
part. I mean, we are in December now, so I guess there's really no excuse at this point.
It's acceptable.
If you don't have a coat by this point, that's on you.
We're all right.
So, is there anything else that we have not mentioned that you would like to bring up real quick?
No, just come out and support the local businesses, support the kids. There's going to be plenty of local kids in the parade, whether it's the marching band. We may have some other kids from the high school and the other schools that will be popping around in places too. So come out and just bring the family. It's going to be a great night.
It is going to be a great night. Bill Ream from the Regional Chamber of Commerce in Ambridge, thank you for joining me once again. And we look forward to being out there next week with Beaver County Radio and the prize van and the prize wheel to party for Christmas, because it's December now. There's no turning back at this point. We're down to 24 days, so it's going to be a great time.
When you put it that way.
What do you mean when I put it that way?
24 days. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, the clock is ticking. Time waits for no one, not even Santa Claus himself.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, if you missed any of that, we'll have the information up at beavercountyradio.com later on today. It's currently 8:56 on this Thursday morning. Teleform is coming up following the news here on Beaver County Radio and beavercountyradio.com. Ask Commissioners.
95.7 and 99.3